Here we are on beautiful Jones Street.
You saw Ted Jones.
What's the most amount of edibles that he's done?
Syatt?
Yeah.
From what I've heard, 3,000.
3,000 in one sitting?
3,000 in one sitting. I think.
There he is right here.
Syatt!
Approaching
I'm telling the lead
the
lord.
studio.
Let's do it.
Let's get it popping, buddy.
I'll just tell you the number and then I'll explain it a little bit.
What's
the most I've ever taken is
what's the most milligram edible you've ever taken?
3,000 milligrams at one time. It was not good. So here's what I'll say.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Ted Jones World Podcast, episode 506. We're doing it, 2026. Today we have a very exciting guest, Mr. Syatt of the Joey Diaz podcast. Two extreme legends in this comedy business. We're sitting down with Mr. Lee, and we're just going to get to know each other a little better. I met Lee probably like a year ago here at the comedy shop, and now he's become pretty much a regular here, and I see him all the time. So we're going to be enjoying ourselves, okay, guys? So without further ado, here's Mr. Syatt. Just gave you a lovely intro, Mr. Syatt, before
What's
you
up?
were even here, dude.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Look at
yeah,
the production value.
yeah. Dude. So you walked in and the intro's already given to you, bro. So Syatt, I'd say veteran comedian at this point. Am I right?
You remember when you were, how old are you, Ted?
How old do I look? I think that's what I want to ask.
27?
27? No, I'm 34. Bro.
34, okay. Like when I was like 22, 23, I thought it was old. And then like now I'm like, oh, I'm 37. I'm like, no, you weren't. So like I'm just starting my 10th year, but that's with like a year and a half of COVID not doing much.
That was kind of like the same as me. And also, I don't know if I'm going to count my, like the two open mics that I did when I was like 24 and 25 as really starting.
You took how long did it take you? So you did those two, and then how long did it take for you to really start?
Then I used to, I don't know if you ever did this show at Black Hat on Friday nights. They have a great show there, run by Danny Palmer. And like, he's been doing that show there for, I think, about 10 years.
Oh, sick.
I want to say.
Okay.
But I used to go there because I was like friendly with some of the comedians, and I used to just freestyle rap before I even started comedy, dude. Like, that's how terrified I was of stand-up comedy.
Jewish?
Yeah. What are you saying? Jews can't freestyle
No,
rap?
my cousin's a Jewish rapper. There's a lot. There's
Yeah,
an
what is
unknown
it?
scene of Jewish rappers.
You know what? I think it's because we relate to culture.
I think so. The struggle. What would you do?
Well, bro, I would just like rap, and like I would I feel like I would just have like good cadence, and like I can like just bounce ideas off the wall, you know?
There's another comic who does. He's like from Florida. God damn it. He's at the Comedy Village a lot. This white dude. He has like this whole like freestyle rap career. It's like a lot of comics do it.
And
That's crazy.
Is he at the Cellar too? Also,
I don't think so. He might be.
there is a guy. Isn't Chris Turner is a guy who does that a lot too? Have you heard of Chris Turner?
I haven't, but that's not who I'm thinking.
But
of.
he does do that, right?
That's crazy. I probably.
Yeah. He's like a white guy. I mean, definitely not a Jewish guy, but like a white guy, and he does like a bunch of freestyle rapping.
I didn't do anything. Like I had a similar. I did I think like 6 or 7 open mics, and then took like a year for me to actually start.
Well, where did you start those open mics?
So for anyone watching who doesn't know, I am on a podcast with another comedian named Joey
I
Diaz.
started off with that. Now they know.
Thank you. I wasn't
Sure,
here for
they
the
know.
intro.
I'm sure they know too. But go ahead.
And at one point he was preparing for a CISO special.
What's
and
that?
It was a failed streaming service.
What's it called?
CISO, SEESO. They had a bunch of specials for a minute. And to get ready for it, one of our buddies was doing a weekly open mic in the Valley in LA. And I wouldn't even prepare. Like I would just go on the way there. I would think about it. I did like 6 or 7 of them. And then I don't know. I never thought I was like funny. I thought I was going to be on the tech. I didn't even want to be on the podcast when we first started. And it just sort of happened. And then when I started for real, there was this place in LA called the Fourth Wall, still there.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I've heard of it.
Oh,
I
shit.
haven't been there,
That's crazy that you've heard of it. I just went back just to see. It's in a strip mall with a 7-Eleven next to the dumpster, and it's an old insurance office that they just painted the walls black. And it's like we're downstairs at the comedy shop right now. It's like if you took from that pole and it's just like a little square, and it's just open mics all day. It's just like.
So you started in LA.
Yeah, started in LA.
Yeah.
Did my first 3 or 4 years there, I would say. And then COVID hit and I came back.
You know what's interesting about comedy is like, I think that you either start realistically at like a way younger age, like your early 20s, late teens, like 19, maybe even approaching 20, or you don't see that many people who are starting at like 24, 25. It's like you maybe have like a sort of a life before that. Like I used to work in my dad's company for like 6.5 years.
Okay.
Before I really jumped into it at like 27. Like kind of the same age as you for the most part.
And is that when you started or that's when you really jumped into it?
It's tough for me to kind of gauge when I really started. Like I would consider myself like 5.5 years in. And I'd say by May, I would probably consider that like the 6-year threshold because I think COVID really did change a lot. Like we started doing this podcast. I had jaw surgery, so I was like, I need to change up my whole life right now.
Is that why you have such a nice jawline?
No.
Or is it fake? It's a fake jawline.
I have a scar here. You see that?
Yeah, from the jaw lift that you had.
The double I forget what it's called, like mesothelioma or whatever.
You had cancer?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just had like an inverted jaw, and I went back to the orthodontist, and he was like, "Bro," he showed me a lineup, and he was like, "Your shit is."
Oh wow. Oh wow!
I was still a good-looking kid, but
right.
Like, it was like you had to just because my gum line was depleting on one side. So
because it was
in my face.
Oh shit!
It was the craziest recovery from it. I've talked about it many a times on this podcast, but yeah, that was when I think I just had maybe I could say an epiphany where I was just like, all right, well, I want to not just work in my dad's office doing real estate. I want to kind of mix it up, and I started the podcast when like the first like 10 episodes, I'm talking like this because my jaw is literally short. So
why didn't you just wait to record it? You're like, no, you were motivated.
Dog. No, yeah, that's what they say. Like, you got to start before you're ready, dog. So I definitely start, yes, with literally a wired mouth shut.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was like right around and then like once comedy slowly started to get back into place, I lived close to Asylum NYC, and I went over there, and they were just kind of starting to get shows back, and I was like, look, I think I can get like a lot of people for a comedy show. I booked like a great lineup, like 7 or 8 really good comedians. We had like, I think like 70 people the first show. And then from that point forward, I started to do more and more shows. Then I hosted Ted Jones' comedy show at The Stand for like 1.5 years.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then,
so you were like brand new open micer doing this.
Yeah. Which is fucking nuts. Cause like, okay, so the thing was Giulio Gallerati, I'm not sure if you're familiar.
No.
He used to be like one of my tennis instructors when I was like, when I was 13, he was 18.
Okay.
He, for the summer, was in Long Island. He taught me tennis. He didn't really teach me tennis, but he was at the same club for about like 2 summers. And then once he graduated from college, BU, because we both played college tennis.
Okay.
He graduated from BU. He started working in real estate a little bit. And then he was at the Stand in New York Comedy Club. So when I was like just fresh out of college, just hanging out with him, I'd go to all these clubs. Wow. And I would just hang out at the Stand with all these guys.
Was that the original Stand?
The original
Stand. I've only heard of it.
Dude, yeah. I would hang out there. I'd hang at New York Comedy Club just with all the comedians. So I've known a lot of these comedians who have been in it for 15, 20 years. I've known them for almost 10 years.
Wow.
But I think I was watching. I was going with chicks. I was drinking. I was eating.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I can maybe do this.
Yeah, this is the life.
And you know what? I think it's like, those are the types of people that you could see potentially doing stand-up comedy in the future. The people who are like, maybe I'll do it. It's a little terrifying. Maybe I can do it. It's not the people who are outside who are like, oh, like, dude, I'm so funny, I could easily do it. Or the people who are on the other end of the spectrum who are like, nah, that shit is terrifying. I think for the most part, it's the people who are like kind of in the middle of it, right?
Kind of. The only thing I would say is I agree with you on the people who are like overly confident. Those people are scary to be around. And it's like they have like the crazy eyes. I was on the other side of it. I was a huge stand-up fan, but had no... I never thought I was going to be a stand-up.
Really?
No, not even once. I even one time. So Andrew Dice Clay was on the podcast once, and at the end of the podcast, he was being diced, but then it was nice, the sweetest guy in the world. At the end of the podcast, he just asked me, "Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?" So then the next week, I went in and asked Joey. It's like, Dice said this. Should I try it? He's like, "No, you shouldn't." And I was like, "All right." So I just did.
This is like 10 years ago.
Probably 12-ish now. And I was super stage fright, super like introverted, very quiet, and I still am, but like stand-up has completely changed who I am. And even still, I'm a very like shy, nervous person, but I just pretend like I'm on stage. Like when I was single and I would just pretend like I was on stage. And then I can, for whatever reason, I could say anything I want when I'm on stage. I'll talk about girls' tits. I'll do whatever I want on stage. But the second I get off of it, I'm not good like that.
Isn't that funny, dude?
It's crazy. But I wish I had more confidence at the beginning. And about starting early, I don't know about you, but like when I started, I was like 28-ish, 27-ish, I guess. And I was mad because I was at Mike's with like you said, like 19, 20-year-olds. And I was like, God, I waited so like too long. It's never going to happen. And now I'm glad that I waited because I had nothing to say at 20. It would have been nothing. And I even stopped for a while. When COVID hit, we ended the podcast. I moved back to Massachusetts and there was nothing. There was like 1 or 2 open mics. And I went to one an hour away in Providence, and I hosted it for 4 hours. Not one person got a laugh. And I drove home, and I was seeing somebody at the time, like just brand new. And I was like, I'm getting pussy for the first time in like a while. I'm never going to be a stand-up. Like, I don't want to... I thought I was too old to struggle and to like... I didn't... Like, you know what? I did some cool shows with Joey. I'll just be done. And like... I think like 6 or 7 months later, my mom was talking to me and she said, like, I think you're depressed because you're not doing stand-up. You should start it again. And that's when I started after COVID. I started in like April of 21-ish again. And it's been nonstop. But I, even today, like I'll look at some of the young kids who are here all the time and they're killing it. I'm like, God, I wish I'd started a little bit earlier. But there's no way you can do that. And I know there's a lot of great comics. I know there's a couple in LA who started, like Dean Del Rey. He opened for Joey a bunch. He opens for Burr constantly. He started at 50. You can start this at any time. He started at 50 and now he has a special. He opens for Burr and Maron, and
that's crazy.
I think it's the coolest thing about stand-up is it's a little bit different now with social media, but for the most part, like 99% of the people you see, like who are killing it on Netflix or wherever, all started at open mics. We all started at the exact. It's like really cool. I think it's like a very even playing field for the most part. Social media is kind of fucked with it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think, and even so, like you were talking about, like 2021. I think that's when it really started to change. You know, like that's when you can kind of, I don't want to say blow up overnight, but like if you have a fan base, you can have the fan base and then be like, okay, maybe I should do stand-up comedy. There's potentially some good money here.
There's a lot. I spent 4 years in Boston after LA, and I got in pretty well with the group out there. They own Laugh Boston and a few other clubs, and they were really great to me. And I opened for, I'd say like 3 or 4 YouTubers. A couple of them were really good, and a couple of them were 30 minutes of not so good jokes, and then they go, "That's all I got, guys. You got any questions?" And the people who were there loved it.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is depressing. Like, why am I opening it?
Right. Well, I feel like it's also like a new wave. You know,
yeah.
We're gonna figure out over the next few years like how we're gonna even deal with this, because now, you know, like those comedy clubs, like they want to fill seats.
I'm sort of in a weird place because like a lot of my friends are newer comics, and then I was very lucky because of the podcast and got to be around like the best comics in the country. And the comics, like the thing that I feel like I have a little bit more of an insight on is like a lot of the younger comics are like, well, I'm funnier than this and that. I'm like, well, to be honest with you, the clubs don't really care at all. They would like you to be funny. They'd let most of and there are some clubs that it's different. There are some great clubs that care about comedy, but for the most part, they're a business and they want people in there to buy drinks and to buy tickets. And as long as people aren't like actively upset, and even still, like they have their money. It's just, and it's hard because it's an art or whatever you want to call it, and we care. Like I would do this. I still to this day don't ask what I'm getting paid for. So I don't give a like I get to do a spot, sure, whatever. And it's hard to like switch that mindset into, oh, this is a business. Like
Sure.
That's all they care about is selling tickets.
Well, that's interesting. You put it, into words like that because you see it firsthand. You know, and you've probably seen it kind of turn over the last X amount of years. But I guess what I do want to talk about is the opportunity that came to be with Joey Diaz, who's obviously a legendary comedian, been around for decades now. How did the opportunity come to be between you guys doing the podcast together?
Facebook. I was in the right place at the right time. I moved to LA right out of college. I had a cool job. I was working at America's Funniest Home Videos.
Sick show. Oh my God, I love Bob Saget, dude.
Yeah, Bob Saget. I grew up with Saget, and then there was like a weird middle phase, and then Bergeron was there when I was there, and he'd been there for like 15 years. The show's as old as I am. The show started in '88, and it's one of the best shows ever. But if you don't know, when on TV shows they film in seasons, and in between seasons they take hiatuses, and I was working in post. And for the most part, it's not even really like you get laid off. There's just like a couple months where they're not doing anything and you don't get paid. The people were very nice to me because I was brand new to LA, and they were like, well, we'll keep you on for the summer. And I didn't really have much to do. And I had found podcasts on my drive from Massachusetts to LA. And at that point, you had to download it. I remember I downloaded it in a hotel, and I had to drag it to my iPod. Like, it wasn't even I didn't even have an iPhone. And I found Kevin Smith, and I found Doug Benson, and then
Jay and Silent Bob.
It was
Bob.
exactly. Yeah. And then he had Smodcast. He had a few of them, and then Doug Benson had Doug Loves Movies. And then when I got to LA, one of the guys who I ended up working with showed me Rogan's, found Joey, and then one day I just wrote him a message. I said, I want to work with comedians, but I don't want to come off as creepy. Do you have any advice? And I got lucky, and he responded, and it just sort of, we didn't start with the podcast. First we just hung out a bunch. And we hung out outside of a comedy club called the Ha Ha, which has moved, but it's still in North Hollywood. Right? And one of the first times, like, this crazy woman with a bandage on her head came over, and she started talking to both of us, and he just abandoned me. And she turned out to be like a crazy hooker. She tried to get me to give her money, but we would hang out, and then like he invited me over once, and he had me show him how to upload a picture to Twitter on his laptop, and he called me an unadulterated genius, and that was it. So we did that. Then we started. He had a little Gabriel Iglesias at one point had a. Oh, I don't care. I'm always gonna sweat. No, it's gonna fuck up the sound. I don't care.
Well, we're right. All right, okay.
I don't give a shit.
Just looking out for you.
Thank you. Gabriel Iglesias had a show on Comedy Central called Stand Up Revolution, like a showcase show, and he gave everyone who was on it a little. It was called a bloggy. It was like a little mini video camera, like a handheld one. And for the first while, Joey would film himself every week, and then give me the camera. And we did like these little mini vlogs called Mad Flavors World. We did that. We filmed a documentary. We recorded a CD. And then I was working nights on different reality show. And we had this idea to do a podcast at 6 a.m. For the first 2 years of it, it was at 6 a.m.
That's nuts.
So I'd work from 7 to 5, leave my job, go to his house, get fucked up, and then do the podcast until
so wait, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m.?
Yeah, that was my shift working at that one was Hell's Kitchen. That was
what was
one.
that, like a restaurant shift?
No, I was working post-production on Hell's Kitchen, the Fox show.
Oh my God. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It sucked. It fucked me up for years.
Well, they say, I was gonna say that when those people who work nights like that, it's very tough for them to kind of just gauge sleeping.
Oh my! And I didn't even have the worst one. There was another shift that was midnight to 9 a.m. So yeah, it was rough. But we did it for 2 years at 6 a.m, and then I had one more TV job, and the podcast was starting to take off, and I just decided to go for it, and we did it for just almost exactly 8 years.
That's
in
crazy.
LA before COVID came and destroyed everything. But
now you guys are back.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, it was good. It was good that it stopped. I'm still pretty fat, but I was like fat. I was like huge. I was right now. I'll give just for reference. Right now, I'm like 215.
You look good.
I think I was 336. I was 336 at my fattest.
I mean, dude, not sleeping. Probably sitting around a lot, driving all the time, right?
Well, yeah. There's no walking in LA.
None.
Like none at all. And then, like when I was working nights, the only thing open was fast food. And then I was also, even when I was working days, because there was a period where I would work days. The shift was 10 to 7, but you have to, because of LA traffic, you leave at 8, you get back at like 8:30. I was exhausted. I didn't want to cook or like do any. I would just get fast food, and I fucking ballooned up to 336.
How did you lose 100 pounds?
I lost it honestly during COVID. I just ate one meal a day.
Oh man, that's what I'm doing.
It works. It doesn't work like for me like it does for you. God damn it.
Yeah, it does, dude. You lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, well, 150, but who's counting? I gained like 40 of it back.
Right.
But I did that, and then I would walk I did like an hour walk once a day.
That's great, man.
And that was it. And I gained a bunch of it back, and then I've slowly been like maintaining or losing it. But it was, Joey always says I blame the edibles. I don't blame the edibles, but one of our friends up there, Zach, was just talking.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. I wanted to shape it in like a clip form.
Okay.
What's the most? How should I frame it?
So
because obviously you used to do a lot
for those of you who don't know, we would take it was basically a podcast, a drug podcast. For the majority of it was edibles, marijuana edibles. We did almost everything on there, but it was mostly marijuana edibles for like 6 out of the 8 years.
What was the biggest milligram of edible you had on the podcast?
So for the most part, well, before I tell you that, have you taken edibles?
Yeah, I hate it.
That's so
bro,
funny.
and I've taken like the most I've taken is probably like 100 milligrams. Why? Okay, so I used to smoke like no joke 5 or 6 joints a day.
Okay,
like if you look back in the beginning of this podcast, the only reason I for real stopped is because I felt like I was not as sharp if I was recording podcasts or on stage. And at different points of the day, I needed to stop smoking in order to be sharper for specific reasons.
Yeah.
So yes, the most I took was like 100.
Okay, and for everyone watching, 100 is a lot.
Yeah,
for
it's a lot.
Most people take like 5 or 10. That's like what people start with.
That's like the go-to dosage.
Yeah, that's what like the dispensaries.
You'll freak out probably if you take a 10 milligram for the first time.
I don't know about that because I don't know what I took the first time, but I took enough that my eyeballs vibrated, and I could.
Your first one?
No, yeah. Well, no. The first one was before Joey. The first one I got so fucked up that I was sat in the sun for 8 hours and my skin turned purple because I was just so fucked up I couldn't move. But the first, like with Joey, and I'll just tell you the number and then I'll explain it a little bit.
What's
the most I've ever taken is...
What's the most milligram edible you've ever taken?
3,000 milligrams at one time. It was not good. So here's what I'll say. Yeah, it's amazing that I'm alive. And
in one sitting?
Yeah, in one sitting.
And were you high for the rest of the month?
Here's the weird part.
Bro.
I think my body knew that was too much. I think my body was
you're
like...
not going to get high.
I got high. I'm not saying I didn't get high, but I've been much higher.
Don't mean to interrupt, but like I remember like sometimes I would smoke so much weed that the next day like my shit would smell like weed.
Yeah, But and it's a joke. I won't do the whole joke, but we took every kind of edible imaginable.
3,000 in one sitting.
Well, so when it was just medical in California.
And what was it?
What we were known for is Joey called them the Stars of Death, which is a scary fucking name. But they had 3 different. They had a green one, which is 50, a red one, which was 125, and a purple one was 200. And we took 15 purples, and my shit smelled like gummy bears. It was a lot.
What were you thinking? What was your mindset? How long were you high? What was the breakdown?
See, that time. Like I've been much higher on like 1,000 milligrams. I honestly feel like my body was like, this is too much. I don't remember. Luis J. Gomez was the guest on that episode. I don't remember. I just remember like sort of being like not out of body, but like I just didn't. There's been there's hundreds of hours of evidence of it. I'm just like passed out. And because we would get there. I'd get there probably around 6 o'clock at night. Joey would get there around like 7. We'd immediately start taking bong hits and edibles. For a period of time, we did this thing called hash under a glass. So I don't know if anyone out there knows hash. It's like a little sticky. It's like a little piece of gum almost. We bought, it was during the Trump-Hillary elections. We bought their pins, and then we would just open the pin and stick it on the hash on the end of the pin, light it on fire, and then put the glass over it on a table. So the glass would fill with smoke, and then you would just put your mouth to the glass and take the smoke. So by the time the podcast, and then the guests would get there, and we'd keep smoking and keep taking. By the time the podcast started around like 9, I'd be fucked up. We'd talk for like 2 hours. Then the podcast would end. We'd talk and fuck around, and then I don't know when is this. We're recording this, and it'll go up in what, a week or two probably. Almost 99% of the podcasts that we've done go up the next day, like immediately. So I would have to high as fuck edit it and post it that night. And there were plenty of days where like I'd wake up at like 6 a.m. still in the studio with like the lights on, and I would be high for probably 2 days at some. But the fucked up thing is in LA we were doing it Mondays and Wednesdays. So by the time Wednesday's podcast got around, I was like just coming out of the fog, and then immediately again.
So would you take off would you have to take off days in between to smoke, or I mean to not smoke, or you just continuously smoke?
I smoked a little bit. Honestly, I smoke a lot more now than I used to. I'm weird. Like food is my thing. If you told me that drugs or alcohol were gone forever, it really wouldn't. Like weed, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. But I just didn't even really think about it for the most part. There were times, like if I was dating somebody, I would take some edibles, but I wouldn't take 1,000. I would take like a few hundred.
Right. Well, 3,000. You think that's a world record?
No.
3,000 edibles and.
I wish. That'd be great. I could put that on my credits.
Yeah, this guy took a 3,000 milligram edible.
No, I there's a lot of people online now who do. I think, but it's close.
3,000.
I don't know if that's a record, but I think that 6 to 8 year period, like if you add it up, because we did it twice a week, 2 times a week, so over 100 episodes a year, minimum 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams. So I don't know if someone wants to do that math, or if your editor wants to do it. Are you the editor?
I'm the editor.
So if you want to do the math and put it right here, how much that equals, and then there would be other times like we would just take. Anytime I'd go with him, I didn't really go with him on the road, but like in California, if we were driving around, like when I first started comedy, we'd have a show at like the Ice House. And I'd drive with him. As soon as I got in the car, he'd give me edibles, and then I'd be the host. So, and he would plan to get there just as the show started. So I'd have to run right on stage. So when you were talking about like being high on stage earlier, I have like a weird, because I've been too high. I've definitely been too high on stage. Like I started repeating a joke. Oh, that was a good one. That was a fucked up one. So I was early on at the in stand up. I was at the store. Joey was in the belly room, and my good buddy and I, Eric, who's now a door guy at the store, we were like, we're new comics, and they have like a comics only bar in the back, and we were like, we didn't want to go in there if we weren't invited, so we went in, and I knew I was gonna host. I was already nervous about it. First time in the belly room, and Joey, I get in there, he gives me edibles, and as soon as the edibles are done, he goes, hey, just so you know, Chappelle's here. He wants to do 30 in front of you, and then you're gonna go up, and I just lost it. Like I was so nervous. Then as the show starts, and of course Chappelle's not there, and I'm like, I actually did pretty well, but I started, as the edibles were hitting, I started repeating a joke, and then I forgot Eric, who I was bringing up, was there the night I started, one of my best friends in comedy. I forgot his name. Like I was just I just couldn't. I was like, this guy, it was probably like 30 seconds, but I couldn't remember his name. So I've been too fucked up. But
did you end up remembering his name?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah.
I go through phases. I like smoking a little bit of a joint and being on the down before I go up, because that, like, I'm so neurotic and anxiety ridden that I feel like if I get the timing right, I'm a little bit looser on stage. But it is. I know what you're saying with your, like, I like my brain firing on all cylinders, and with weed, there's a lot of times where you're like, oh God, I feel like I'm like walking through mud, trying to remember my jokes or remember where I want to go, and that's not fun. But it's weird for me to be like to have conversations like this, because for me, like when you're like, oh, I used to smoke like 5 or 6 joints a day, and you're like, that's a lot. And I just from what I've been exposed to, like 5 to 6 joints is like, and then what do you do after lunch? Like what do you mean? That's crazy. Is there a lot of like in LA? There's a lot of like weed comics. So I haven't really seen any like druggy comics in New York.
You know what? I would also say that I think just the turnover within the last few years, like you don't see comics really drinking as much. I mean, you see like a lot of cigarettes, I think, in comedy. Which is interesting, but like that's really the only vice I'll really see. Like I don't see comics really that much with vapes, maybe here and there, but like no, not really smoking weed before they go on. Like I'll see comics like outside after shows smoking, but
that is funny to me because like I'm just really desensitized to it. So I'll be out there smoking, and I'll offer it to comics like I can't do it before I. And now it's like when I go with Joey, at the very minimum we're smoking. So it's like I don't have the option of like. Not.
Well, are you guys smoking it in the green room, or are you smoking it like just way before?
In the green room, he's really smart. Like he doesn't do clubs anymore, but when we were doing clubs, he would just sit with the green room door open because usually it's in like the showroom, and he would just blow smoke out into the showroom so people would like know that he's there. But no, we'll smoke everywhere. Like we used to do. When I would fly with him, I'd meet him at like 4 a.m. at his house, and we'd take edibles then, just for the flight. Which I have you ever flown high?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It was fine.
I hate it so much.
Interesting. Well, you know what's interesting? Like, I guess over the last 2 years, because there were times when I used to fly with weed, and that would make me crazy. I'd be so freaked out about that. Mm-hmm. But now, anytime I have, I'm going through security, I'm like, you guys can check my bag. I ain't got shit in there, whatever. You know what I mean?
I don't think they care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, now they probably don't, but I think like when I really was doing it, like 3 or 4 years ago, they did.
They cared, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, and are you completely sober?
Like I'll drink if the night seems fun enough, but
okay.
I haven't had a drink in like almost 8 months, and then I haven't smoked in like 2 years. I wouldn't say I'm sober, but I'm just.
Yeah, I feel the same. So how do you get your rocks off? Like, do you do anything, or is it just?
I'm not, dude. I don't fucking do anything, bro. I just do this. I just restarted doing this pod. Yeah, I don't know. Stand up is fun.
Dude, I just saw you posted a clip, and I haven't got to watch the whole episode. In like one of your most recent episodes, you did 600 spots in 25.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Thanks for seeing that. Yeah. Probably closer to like I'd say closer to 650, but yeah, 600.
Yeah. I'm so happy to be in New York. Like even before stand up, I wanted to live here. It sounds like you grew up around here, maybe. Yeah. And it's just so different, stand up wise. Even without stand up, I think it's the best city in the world. But stand up for me, like, and I'm just over a year in, so I'm just starting to finally like, thanks to you, like I'm in here now a little bit, and I'm starting to get in at a couple of places. But it's different in New York. It's so like to think about 600 spots. That I was like blowing my mind all day. I'm like, that's like 2 a day, at least, and it's like real crowds, and you can jump around to different. You could, like in theory, you could even do 1,000 pretty easily.
Yeah, well,
when you get in at more places in a couple years.
Do you know Jared Waters?
Of course. Yeah.
I had him on the podcast like 2.5 years ago, and he did like 1,050. In 1 year.
Wow.
Which is like I remember I was just baffled at it.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that many, which is a lot more than 600. But I think like, I mean, doing that many seems slightly overwhelming, especially like, given that I don't want to spread myself too thin. But, I mean, yeah, if you have the ability to do, I mean, at least one a night,
If you aren't doing, even if it's an open mic, but if you're living in New York and at least not doing one, and everyone, I'm sorry?
Averaging one, you mean?
Yeah, or even just like, sometimes people go on vacations or whatever, or you have a reason. But if you're sitting like, when I was living in Boston or I was in Milwaukee for a few months and there's nothing, and I'm like, I couldn't do anything tonight. There's always some spot to do in New York, even if it's a shitty open mic. But and 1,000 is a lot, but it really isn't. It's like what, 3 a day ish? Which
I think it is a lot.
It's a lot. Like you're doing it, you really have to commit, and that's What's your stand-up goal? Like, what would you want your career to be like?
Interesting question. I think I would ideally like to get it to a point where I'd be able to tour and make money. And then also, if that leads into other gigs that revolve around entertainment or hosting, I think that that's probably the best place for me. And then also like roles in movies, TV shows, things of that nature.
I could see you being, I mean, you are a great host, but I could definitely see you doing that. Because I want to live here for the rest of my life. It's not my goal to be like a New York City comic. I'd love to be in at all the clubs, but I love being on the road. Like doing like the traditional like weekends, like Thursday through Saturday, and do an hour. And like I would love to be in the city Sunday through Wednesday and then do weekends. Because there's a lot, and like Dave Attell comes to mind. He definitely tours. He's one of the best ever. But he just goes hard in New York. And that's what like Jared's doing. And you can do that, but it's
Jared who?
Jared Waters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's not, I don't think it's, at least not for me, sustainable. I would love to have a couple of years of really getting really amazing at stand-up. Because that's the only way to do it is by doing it a ton. Like, did you get better in this year? That 600 spots?
I'd say yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
To do 600.
Yeah. I mean, there's the occasional maybe 5% of the time where I phoned it in. You know?
And everyone bombs. You're supposed to bomb.
Well, not even bomb. Just kind of just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and then also bombing, obviously. But I think just like taking every spot and realizing that it's like it's a new X amount of people that are seeing you. You know, maybe there's some people, it's a crowd for 8 people from Norway, or maybe it's a sold out 50-person show, but they're being weird and they're not laughing, or they don't seem like they're a great comedy crowd. I think like it's just important to try and do your best every set. But sometimes, yeah, it's tough if it's a 4 or 6 show night. But
it's crazy. And I love when I have like 2 or 3 a night, and I'm slowly. I was talking to Aaron Berg about it, who's he had this special
25.
where he did like 25 in a night,
sets,
amazing,
yeah. Insane.
But he said it took him about 2 years to really get into the clubs, and so that's what I'm hoping to have a couple auditions this year. We'll see what happens, but like one of my favorite shows of last year was here. I think it was of last year. It might have been early this year. I can't remember. But it was like a Saturday night, and it was 2 people, 2 like hot chicks. And they just had such good energy, because we were going to cancel the show. And they were like, no, please. So we did like 6 of us did like 3 minutes for them each. And it was they could have been happier. They had so much good energy that like it. Sometimes you do a show for like 15, 20 people and everyone's real depressed and like not even giving you anything. But to have 2 people like go crazy, it's like you don't know what to expect here. You can't prejudge an audience, and it's just like I feel like you learn so much more here, because even at clubs, like certain clubs have a certain audience, so it's either older or a certain race or whatever. At clubs in New York, you have a little mix of everything at every show. It's so much fun. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed to have grown up in New York and kind of started here. And then when I go to other places, I'm like, I think I could be in this particular environment, at least until later in life. Like I go out to LA, I'm there for a few days. I'm like, all right, just the everyday life is a little bit slower. Miami, kind of same thing. But yeah, I think the pace in New York, especially for stand-up comedy. Yeah. It's great.
I don't know. I liked LA. There's certain things that I miss. This works for me, I think.
Como estás? Yeah.
Yeah, como está. I just think it's, and I notice it like when I go to other cities and I'll see like hosts or features. The level of comedy here, even of open micers, is just they're above, I think, any other city, because they go up so much. And it's just, did you grow up in the city or you grew up in Long Island?
18th Street and 2nd Avenue.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's on the east side?
Yeah, like right next to the old stand.
Wow.
Like a block and a half away.
Did you like growing up in the city?
Yeah, I loved it.
I just got married like 2 weeks ago. But when I met my wife, she was honest about wanting kids soonish. And I've always wanted kids, but I was like, I just moved here. But B, I grew up in the suburbs and I hated it. I was so bored and like so jealous of like city kids. And so like she was and is cool with it. And so she's not pregnant yet, but we're going to raise whatever kids we have in the city.
Love
and like,
that,
everyone
dude.
thinks it's crazy, but
No,
I love that you're
that.
so happy about it.
I love that, man. That's great. That's like the complete opposite you hear about from anybody who like wants to have kids. And
Everyone
just
wants
moved
to
the city.
leave. There's
Yeah.
so much to do here.
Yeah.
And they're like you're exposed to so much.
And how much room do you need for like a new baby?
And you don't
know?
want to be home with them anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Or you want to send them off to daycare or whatever.
Get out, or you get out with them or go do like New York is such a if you're watching this and you're not in it and you're like, oh, like, and I get it, some people don't like New York. There's something here for everybody. If you like food, shows, drugs, or like just getting high and sitting in Washington Square Park is a fucking blast.
It's a whole activity.
It's a whole day. I can't think of a better place for a kid to grow up.
Where'd you grow up, by the way? After all this?
Right outside of Boston, in a very nice suburb called Sudbury, near like Framingham, Concord area. Very, very boring. It was like nothing. Like there's like they don't have restaurants. It's like a 20, 30 minute walk to go to anywhere. There's no like it's a very nice place to raise a family, I guess, if that's what you want. But do your parents still live in the city?
Yeah, my dad lives in Florida for a few months, and then my mom lives in the city, pretty close by. So I see my family like every other week for the most part, which
That's
is great.
awesome.
Yeah, man.
I love that my dad did the same thing. Jewish, moved immediately to
Classic,
Florida.
right? And then
Near
I think
Boca?
that's a.
Oh,
And then that also gives me the Florida bug, like especially when these winter months come around. I can go down there, I can do content, and I can do stand up. I'm down there for 4 nights.
Florida, honestly, you could spend the whole winter down there if you wanted to. There's a lot in Florida.
I could potentially see that, once I'm a little bit more just immersed in the content game, more established as a comedian. I could see myself doing that.
Yeah.
But just for now, I go down there like 4 nights a month. So I end up spending like 2.5 weeks down there for the year, and then that's it.
And your dad's on the East Coast?
Miami.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Close to both.
There's a lot of honestly, my favorite club in the country is Side Splitters in Tampa.
Okay, yeah. I did the Sunshine Comedy Festival, which was in St. Pete and Tampa.
Yeah.
But I didn't end up doing because they have Side Splitters in Tampa and then also Wesley Chapel.
And they're just opening up a third one. Did you meet Dan Baxt when you did that?
Of course,
festival?
he's done the podcast.
Oh, he's the best.
He's the man.
He's a sweetheart.
Where are they opening up the third one? St. Pete?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that place! I feel like it's such randomly a good comedy scene.
You know what I think it is? I don't know about the scene, but that specific club, I've done it 2 weekends.
In Tampa?
Yep. And the owner has been there every show. It's the only club I've ever been to that the owner, honestly,
Just passionate about it. probably.
like most owners aren't even there at all. But for like maybe once or like one show out of a 5-show weekend, this guy's there every time I'm there. Thursday night, Sunday night, any night. It's one of the first clubs that headlined me. I love Florida. You know what? Florida gets a lot of shit, and I don't understand why.
No, I love it.
And have you done stand up in Miami?
Yeah, like when I go down there, I'll do some of the brewery shows, club show here and there. I've done the Improv a couple times.
Okay.
But when I go down there, I just do spots.
I have a couple of friends down there. I have Esther Koo was on the church with
Sure.
Joey, and she moved back to Miami. And then Ricky Cruz is down there, and it's like a Miami institution. It's I haven't been down there. That's really cool. You seem like you have like Miami vibes.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I could see that
I
working
can
for
take
you.
that laid back, some tan action. Yeah, people say it's either Los Angeles, sometimes Miami, but
I could see.
New York's where I'm at.
It's not a laid back. It's not a vibe thing, and it's not a tan. It's just you're like a supermodel, and it's amazing.
Bro, I appreciate you saying that, man.
What do
Dude,
you
nobody
think?
said, dude, you're the only person who ever says that about me, man.
Look,
and I
show them your
appreciate
phone
that.
background. Show them you're like 007.
How did you know that was
I
your phone
really
background you
because
saw?
someone told me about it.
Someone told you about it? You didn't even see it?
I forget who. But dude, that picture of you in a tux is you should wear that tux every day.
It's uncomfortable, bro. I like just fucking wearing this, dude. It's sweatpants. And I'm wearing jeans for you today, man. That's how fancy I got.
What do you normally wear?
Come on, bro. I'm always suit and sweats.
Even on stage?
Yeah.
Oh
it's
shit!
just black,
I didn't
so
know.
you don't
Oh,
notice.
okay. I didn't notice there were sweats.
Yeah.
It's very different with you when you wear sweats. Like you look cool. If I came on stage wearing sweats, I'd be like, oh.
But if you got some nice fitted sweats, I think you can pull them off.
I didn't even know they had those.
Amazon, bro.
Okay, nice fitted. So okay.
Yeah.
I think things just fit you better than I feel like we're buying the same
Maybe
shit.
Maybe not though. Mr. Lee, they got a show down here at 7, so I told him I'd be out by 6:50. But bro, thank you. So Albie said you're 2 minutes late. I'm getting off now. Jesus, they sending signs over here.
God, I thought you ran this place.
Yeah, you're fucking right. I thought
You know what?
I
We're
did.
going to
Now
7:30.
You know what? Now we're 7. We're here till 7:30. Mr. Lee, thank you so much for coming
having
on
me,
the
Mr. Ted.
podcast. I really appreciate it. Dude, your life story is amazing. Always love seeing you. And until we rekindle again on the airwaves, and I'm sure I'll see you around here many times more. And yeah, dude, I've also enjoyed immensely getting to know you, bro. So,
Dang, it's been great. You've been awesome. Thank you for having me on.
coming on.
Thank you, guys.
all right, guys. Peace.